Okay, what happens when you work for someone who is a jerk?
Be the Reason is all about human connections. Because no matter how much we think we know how we are being heard, there is one thing that I can guarantee based on my decades of professional experience. Other humans will hear us differently than we hear ourselves. In other words, the responsibility is on us to communicate as effectively as possible, whether in professional or personal conversations. So let's dig in.
Okay, so there's a lot of people that can be perceived as being jerks to work for. We're not talking to you today or about you today. What we're going to do is talk about how do we handle those situations. At the end of the day, you cannot control your boss that's a jerk. What you can control is your approach and your words. And that's what you need to reflect on. So, first off, if your boss is a jerk, I just want to encourage you, is that unusual? Is there something going on that you're unaware of that is really influencing their behavior? And if this is truly new, if this is an uncommon situation in the workplace, then maybe just give them some grace. We do not know everything that is going on with anyone that we work with. We don't. And our life influences how we do our job. But if this is typical behavior, then that's a different story. And you really need to evaluate, what are you going to learn from this situation? You know that you can't change them, but what can you do? I have had one really awful boss in my careers. And you know what? I learned more about myself working for him than I have in any other situation in my life. I learned about how I really do have control over my mouth, and I do have control over my accomplishments and what I'm able to focus on, or if I'm really distracted by the words that he says or by the approach that he takes. I learned about my own strength, and I learned how I would lead people in different situations. And I'm super grateful for that. Now, if you happen to be a boss who is a jerk, please pause for a minute and realize that I'm not complimenting bosses who are jerks for helping people grow, because that's a little twisted if that's what you're thinking. I'm just saying that when I worked for a jerk, I grew tremendously, and I value that growth. Would I ever want to work in that situation again? No. Should anyone want to work in those situations? No. And should those situations even exist? No. If you know anything at all about history, you can look at some of the most successful historians, and many of them accomplished their amazing achievements by the kindness and patience in which they treated others. So you don't need to be a jerk. You don't. But you do need to evaluate your behavior when you work for one. You need to first understand, is this going to be long-term? Am I going to be working for this person for the next 5 years? And if that is a possibility, maybe you don't need to work there anymore. I don't know. Or you need to understand, is this temporary? Can I do this for the next 2 years? And is this going to help my career? This particular role, what I'm going to learn in this role, the value it's going to add to my resume. Think through those things, but always evaluate your growth and what you are learning. And then also, my advice is no matter what they do and how they treat you or the chip on their shoulder that they come to work with, you have a responsibility to still be professional and respectful in the workplace. Now, that does not mean you're a doormat, and it doesn't ever mean you should take abuse, because that is far extreme, and no one should be abused in the workplace ever. But I'm just talking about jerk behavior. And you have to really evaluate, what are you going to say or not say, and what approach are you going to take or not take. But you definitely need to evaluate your own growth and your strength and make your decisions off of that. Because the sad part is, most jobs have a jerk in a leadership position somewhere. You're not going to always escape that, but what you can do is learn about you from it. You've got this. I know you can do it.
If you like the content in these videos, please like and subscribe and share with your friends. Or if you have specific topics that you would like addressed or questions, please leave those in the comments. Thanks so much.